In today's tutorial, we're going to do an upgrade to the Be Happy flower. I got my Bernat Mosaic yarn out. It's calling for a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook, also a US H. Okay, so I got everything out, and this is the actual fantasy color if you're looking for something unique, and I thought I'd try this yarn with this. So this is an upgraded version. We're just going to create a slip knot just like so. Okay, slip in our hook, and what I want you to just do is to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and now let's create the ring, and we just go into the beginning chain and we grab the material and pulling it through, and you'll notice that I'm pinching the loose end with the actual ring together. Okay, so let's move on to our next spot. So we're just going to chain 1, and I want you now to single crochet 12 times into the center. So just slipping your hook into the center, grabbing the material, pulling it through, pull through 2. Okay, so just going in and single crocheting, so this will be 3, so let's do that. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So once I get all the way around, you can kind of shift it if it's growing too much on you. This is just a loose end. I'm just going to put it in behind, and I want to just slip stitch it now to the top of where you started. So try to get both stitches if you can, pulling it through and through. So let's move on to your next layer of the Be Happy flower. In the next layer here, we're going to single crochet yet again, and we're just going to go in to the very next stitch available, and we're going to slip or single crochet 3 times in the same one. So that was 1, this is 2, 3, okay, so that was 3, and so then you go to the next one. So look for the next one, so single crochet 3 more times into the next one. Okay, so go to the next one then 3 more times, and I want you to do that all the way around, making sure that every stitch that you see gets 3 single crochet, or 3 single crochets, yes. Okay, we'll meet back up in the end. You're going to notice that this is going to be really an interesting mix once we get beyond this rotation, and the flower will start to buckle, and the Be Happy flower will open up right before your very eyes. So 3 single crochets all the way around in each one of the stitches. So now I've gone all the way around, and now I just want to slip stitch it to the very beginning one that we had, and you're going to notice that the flower is starting to buckle up a little bit, and that's because there's too many stitches in one spot, and that is what you exactly need. So now we're actually halfway through your Be Happy flower, even though it kind of doesn't look like it, because the next layer is going to be the fun one. So let's now chain up 3, so 1, 2, 3, and now every stitch you run into, I want you to put a double crochet into the spot. Okay, so I want 3 double crochets. So the very first one there, I'm just putting in a double crochet, and I'm going to do that 2 more times because the chain 1 counts as 1 already. And so just look for the very next one. You're going to see that it's tight, and that's okay. Okay, it's going to work out for you. Okay, so 3 double crochets into each one of the stitches as you rotate around. So in the first rotation we had 12, but then we put in 3 into each, so then you increase the round to 36, and now you're going to times 36 by 3 again when you go all the way around, and that's because you're trying to create the ruffles that this Be Happy flower has. So let's go all the way around, 3 double crochets into each stitch. So I now come all the way around, and all I just need to do is just slip stitch it to the top of the beginning one that we did. So the flower is almost looking very complete. You can see it's actually kind of buckling up, and that is just fabulous. It actually looks amazing. So what I noticed with these Be Happy flowers is that this is not enough. This looks too refined. Flower is never this nicely nicely edged. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to chain up 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and go into the very next stitch available, and for a single crochet. So we're going to go down. Okay, so we're single crochet and then chain up again 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and going down into the next one for a single crochet, and 1, 2, and 3, and then down into the next one for 3. And the reason why we're doing that is that we're now changing the edge from being very refined to actually more of a ruffling effect that would be more natural looking if it was a real flower. and we're just going to continue to do that all the way around. Is just 1, 2, 3 single crochet to the next, and 1, 2, and 3. And actually this yarn is looking really amazing for a flower. It's gotten some really amazing texture coloring changes that are just going to be really cool. So 1, 2, 3 and down, and do that. Before I finish off this tutorial, this is what it looks like before you're actually doing all the ruffling. Look at the difference of it being really flat versus doing that chaining. It really is quite significant, and it's something that I'd highly recommend that you do. It's like anything with creativity, you can always skip steps along the way, but just making these ruffles on the edge just really makes the effect look amazing. So I'm just going to keep going, and I'll meet you up at the end where we'll finish off this tutorial. Well, this is it. I'm almost done. I just got a couple more stitches left. Okay, so we're going to come into the final stitch, just like so. But what you need to do, instead of having this gap, okay, you want to actually just make sure you just do a little bridge over, so bridging over, just chaining 3 and coming up underneath the other one, just like so, before finishing it off. And then therefore you actually have a very consistent outside when you do that. So let's grab our scissors. I bet Daniel was cutting something he shouldn't have with my crafting scissors. I'm sure we've all been there where people use your scissors for other things like cutting wire and the whole 9 yards. So I'm just going to tie everything off just like so, and I'm going to come in behind of it, and I'm just going to slip in my hook somewhere behind a string, and I'm going to pull that straggler through just like so. And I'm going to grab another piece of a string somewhere else and being able to pull that through, and therefore it will not come out. So I'm just slipping it in behind. Okay, I'm grabbing the string and pulling it through. Therefore that loose end will not fall out on the outside of this project. It's already kind of tied off the way that I already did it, and now we can just safely trim that on the inside, and there is your Be Happy flower. And you just have to manipulate it a little bit to get it to all ruffle back out. You have a beautiful center, and when I pull it apart, you can see that we did our ring, we did our first single crochet, we did our double crochet, and then we did our outside. And then when you just have to shift it all back, it's actually just going to buckle within itself. It's going to give it some layers, and you attach this to a sweater, a hat, any kind of idea. And so basically it's just going up and down in continuous waves, and this stuff is actually really quite amazing. So this is your Be Happy flower. Until next time, enjoy.